Trekking with her father has come to be one of the most anticipated events of the month, 13-year-old Bhumi More tells us.
My dad asked me when I was like 7 to 8 years old that will you come with me for a trek? And that trek was like really amazing. My first trek was Sihagat. And then I had reached the top, it reached the peak at from like 30 minutes from the base to the peak. And the thing is that the best memory was like the sunrise.
An 8th grade student in Pune, Bhumi's father says he has watched her change over the years. She now names plants, birds, and insects, noticing things he himself walks past.
Yeah, I would prefer learning outdoors because you get to see, you get to observe, touch, feel, smell. Now our whole environment is getting disrupted. Monsoons are coming earlier, summers are hotter, and winter is not even colder now. Like we are from nature, we are nature. So how are we protecting nature and taking care of ourselves if we are not taking care of nature? Because we are nature, right? We should take care of it. It's like cutting the roots of a tree and expecting it to grow even taller.
In many ways, we could say Bhumi has been fortunate to have found an ecosystem that has been encouraging her to ask these questions. Where once a month she gets to explore the natural world and its treasures with children about her age.
I've joined Youth Cosmo Kattas like since the last 3 years. I've been coming like since I was a 5th grader. And the thing I have learned that we are getting disconnected from nature mostly.
On the first Sunday of every month, for this group of children, a different kind of classroom presents itself. No walls, no desks, just the outdoors, slow play, and a screen-free environment.
So basically kids have something known as a naturalist intelligence, and our focus at Youth Cosmo is to boost that naturalist intelligence by exposing them to different formats.
What he's trying to say is he has had many statewide in his life.
Youth Cosmo, the Pune-based learning ecosystem that brings it all together, calls this day Earth Katta, literally translating as a platform to enjoy meaningful conversations. At its heart, co-founder Nidhi Bennur tells us it is a gentle nudge to help children develop an emotional and invested relationship with nature.
So Youth Cosmo is at the intersection of nature, education and culture, where the child is at the center of all these three circles. And whatever we design, whatever we do, we take into consideration what the child likes, what the child enjoys. Because only if a child enjoys something will he wholeheartedly learn something.
For the last 3 years, Kattas have encouraged conversations around the sun, soil, birds, and rains. Today's center of interest is snakes.
Today we did like rolling the dice and playing like kind of snake and ladders. So it was like -2, -1, you had to go behind one step and all.
Now, did you all enjoy the game? You have to do, okay, who all knows Nagin dance? Going right, then you're circulating. That's all the parents are not doing.
The idea is a simple one. If a child feels connected, they will care.
They connect without any wall. They connect without any judgment. They connect without any barrier in their minds. Okay. Most of the preconceived notions, negative, positive, whatever we have, it has all been because of what we have learned and what has been passed down from generations. When they come here, and we catch children young, when they are 6, 7, when they're just starting to understand things. And these kids are so non-judgmental, they want to question everything. We take advantage of that questioning behavior.
So, कोपऱ्यामध्ये जो विष असतो तो कशासाठी असतो? Correct. So that venom is to actually kill its prey, its food.
पुढच्या सेशनसाठी आपल्याकडे एक मस्त काका आलेले. ओके, शरद काका.
च्या गर्भाशयातून म्हणजे डायरेक्ट पिल्लू जन्माला येतं. काही साप हे अंड्यातून जन्माला येतात. अंड्यातून जन्माला येणारे विषारी आणि बिनविषारी साप आहेत आणि आईच्या गर्भाशयातून सुद्धा जन्माला येणारे विषारी आणि बिनविषारी साप आहेत.
For today's katta, I didn't know much about snakes. I thought they were invasive species which can attack and are harmful. This katta helped me improve my vision about these species of snakes.
Kids right now are very aware, right? Very inquisitive, right? But what it is taught in school is very theoretical, very rote learning, very marks oriented. So organization like Youth Cosmo, events like Earth Cut Up, tries to bridge that gap. There are people who are actually on the field working with the snakes, working with the birds, working with the trees. So schools also, as I said, needs to have these outings as part of their curriculum to bring their kids into the nature.
Parents like Shri Hari represent a growing concern amongst ecologically conscious adults. Are schools really teaching children about the environment they live in? Are these lessons relatable to young minds? Does it encourage critical thinking around climate change?
Right now, the way that climate education is thought of in India is highly fragmented. So if you think about teacher training, if you think about school administration, if you think about the society that the school is embedded in, and then you think about the governance on top of that, there is no straight line really connecting all of that in a coherent narrative about what climate education means.
Most academics we spoke to would agree with Sunaina Ganguly, co-founder at Climate Educators Network. There is a lot to be desired when it comes to climate education in our country.
So the system gaps, I would say, comes right from the school administration to the parents, to the broader ecosystem, which is giving certain kinds of signals to kids and saying, okay, these are the things that are valued, these are the things that are important, this is what you aspire to. So it's a larger societal gap almost. I think they're all working together to reinforce that environment has no place or no important place in the curriculum.
Toxins will be added up into the higher trophic levels, right?
Environmental education has in fact been mandated in our country since 1991. Policies might have evolved since, but experts say it is not fully mainstreamed despite the laws. Recent studies point out that many schools don't cover the subject explicitly. Even when they do, the gap between classroom teaching and lived realities make it almost redundant.
If India needs to transition to an environmentally literate society, we need to build environmental literacy at scale. And that's not possible unless you have a massive, strong education program that's really multi-pronged.
Dr. Shamita Kumar is the principal of the Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Environmental Education and Research in Pune. An important part of its climate literacy program is to first bring these lessons to teachers.
If we want the child to develop the agency to deal with climate change, the pedagogy of transacting this knowledge in the class needs to change. It needs to move from the teacher being a giver of knowledge to building their own capacity to draw upon data, or drawing upon or using experiential learning in the classroom in a way that appeals to the students as well, so that we have both the socio-emotional connect as well as the agency to deal with these complex issues.
At the Institute campus today, a workshop on microplastics is underway for a few teachers from across Pune schools.
माइक्रोप्लास्टिक के बारे में हमें पता नहीं था कि क्लाइमेट में हमारे जो एयर में, वाटर में या सॉइल में ये सब होगा, इसके बारे में हम जानते नहीं थे, लेकिन इस वर्कशॉप में हमें नया सीखने को मिला है.
It's surprising that they get into leaves, but that was quite a huge shocker, and also in the water that we see around us. So everything that they see around us probably is already contaminated with microplastics.
But we want them to take
across 45 schools in western Maharashtra and 15 in Gujarat. These structured workshops use low-cost, scalable formats and demonstrations to equip teachers and students to not just identify climate challenges but develop critical thinking around climate adaptability.
Students know, they know climate change, they know global warming, they know plastics, they know microplastics, but they really know what it means on a daily basis. So the connect with the environment is missing, the connect to real life every day is missing. Bringing that in is actually an actionable point for me.
Although the salmon have over 50 natural predators in the wild.
One of the schools near Pune, Sadhana Vidyalaya, they noticed that a village close by did not have enough water in the drier months of April and May. So as part of their school program, this is basically the environmental education program, they went there and tried to get the cooperation of the villagers who sort of, didn't seem much interested. I think they didn't really feel that, students can do something about it. And the students, along with the principal and the teacher, they managed to build a small bund, getting some donations from here and there, and using a technique where you fill the sacks half with sand and rock and a little bit of other material, and created a bund. They were not very sure what would happen about it. But when they went and talked to the villagers in the next year, because they wanted to repeat the activity, the villagers who were not interested, suddenly said, oh, we can offer you lunch. Because last year we did have some water in the drier months and it really helped our cattle. So the next year and the year after that, they've continued this activity now with the cooperation of the villagers.
There is a vast difference, however, between the way a child brought up in the city perceives their environment and the relationship a child from rural India might have with it, particularly if you belong to a climate-vulnerable region.
Kids who live very close to the nature, they know that they depend on it and they take extra efforts to protect it. In urban areas, what happens is they look at the environment is very disconnected for them. Okay, it's outside the city, it is in the forest, it is in the ocean, it is in the hill, it is not in my city, I have nothing to do with it.
For the reality of climate change to hit home across the board for children, it is vital to ensure that nature-led learning is continuous and not a one-off event. Youth Cosmo, over the last few years, has embedded their programs into school curriculum, learning centers, and festivals across Pune to try and ensure that the lessons stay. Their nature publications are a hit amongst their young members.
Youth Cosmo periodicals, which I currently read, and one of my favorite ones was Maya and the Crane. It was a play, and it was a really heart-touching play. It was about the Siberian cranes. And that one was really one of my favorites.
For Arman Sharma, another young Youth Cosmo member, somewhere between a periodical and a community morning, he has learned that caring about the planet starts with everyday practice.
So all the kitchen waste is put in the wet waste bin and all papers and stuff are put in the dry waste bin. Apart from that, we have 3 different boxes for plastic, glass bottles, e-waste and newspapers. We also use cleaners that are not chemical based. We use bioenzyme to clean our house, and yes, our bin bags also are made of cornstarch, and our toothbrushes and earbuds are not made of plastic, and they are made of wood, so it is friendly towards the environment and doesn't harm it.
Concerted efforts to mainstream climate education still relies heavily on individual interest and investment. But until it is institutionalized, it will be near impossible to bring up a climate-resilient generation.
I would say that India has a very big challenge. Not only the challenge of building resilience, but the challenge of building environmental literacy in 1 billion people. This is a challenge that no other country in the world has.
Right now, if you think about 2 great societal transformations that the next generation has to be equipped for, AI and the climate crisis are both those systems and processes that are already underway, right? But the way that society and governments look at AI is really about how to build technical skills for workforces of the future. And that is not how they see climate education, although it is very, very much the same kind of idea. You have to build skills for resilience.
Thanks for watching Eco India. If you like the story, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Scroll.in on YouTube.